So under that umbrella, I feel like to everyone else in this world, it's just going to be simply subjective. So everybody feels that being a man is one way when another may feel like a different type of way. I think it all.
Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Set Minds. We have, of course, the one and only me, not Sean. So it's your boy, Unusual Experience.
Go ahead, bro.
And of course,
you get right.
Of course, we got the second one and only behind me, the Sean D. Everybody give him a snap it up for coming back to the camera.
What did it do? I want y'all to know I hate Dion.
I'm weak. And we welcoming back Garen. And we got a new guest to the show. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let the people know who you is.
My name is Austin Martinez. I just came onto this podcast because Maze invited me 5 minutes ago. So my 2 cents on a couple of topics that we're going to talk about today. And I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Dion is trash at introductions. I want y'all to know that. But you did your thing,
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. So today, y'all, what I want to talk about is what does it mean to be a man? Now, obviously, we all know that we're not fully grown. I feel like you grown when you almost 30. Gary, you almost there, so you know.
It's been a wonderful ride, I will admit. It's been interesting. But it's not great. It's not great at all.
But as a growing young adult, we all had our childhood growing up. We all have like double standards and opinionated people growing up telling us what we can and what we can't do, what we should and what we shouldn't do, all that stuff, man. So I want to hear like y'all input on it. Like, what do y'all think a man is?
Garen, you the oldest. You got to start it off.
I couldn't start off because it's the definition of like what makes you a grown man is so broad. Is it when you start be able to pay your own bills? Is it when able like you can just support yourself on whatever aspects of it is? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it when you got your car, your first job? There's a lot of things that people don't put in consideration of that.
Yeah.
And I know for me personally, it was just like, it was the moment when I said, I got you, but also know when I can shut up and say, I need some help. So for me, that's the most thing for a grown man to be able to handle, just to accept you're not able to do everything yourself. And you are able to do what you can for other people. So that's for me is what a grown man is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can still protect, provide, make sure like some bills get paid. If I'm short, I'll be like, I'm short, but doesn't mean I ain't gonna hustle my ass off to get them bills covered. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm really like down bad and anybody knows me, I don't ask for nothing.
Right.
If I have to, I know if I really have to, this is what's going on. Take my pride out. I'll pay you back. We'll get this together. And some folks will just be telling me like, you don't have to pay me back because you've covered me multiple times. But that's because everybody understands that's that grown man tip. I can do something for you without you thinking I need to get something back.
Mm-hmm.
So you can reciprocate that off of like the sheer strength of that, then you're good. So that's just for me.
Okay. Sean, Martinez, which one y'all want to go?
I'm gonna let Martinez go.
Okay.
I think like what Garrett said is like it's a very broad type of description on like what it means to be a man. So under that umbrella, I feel like to everyone else in this world, it's just going to be simply subjective. So everybody feels that being a man is one way when another may feel like a different type of way. I think it all starts out, at the very basic sense of growing up. And who you view as a man, because essentially you're gonna take what you learn from said father figure or whoever that you took as, oh wow, like I want to be like him, and you're gonna base those values onto yourself. And then as you get older, you start to not only change those values either for the better, hopefully, but kind of bring it to a point to where you can establish within yourself as a mindset. Because just because you reach a certain age doesn't make you a man. You can be 30, you can be 40. Somebody in their 20s can be more of a man than somebody in their 50s, solely because of just what they do for people. I think it's about being more than just yourself, than just providing for yourself or providing for everybody that you take into account, that you actually care for. And I think being a man is simply that somebody can look up to you in the sense that you can lead others.
I like that. Okay. To me, what it means to like be a man, you know, I say like be like really responsible and like accountable for your actions, knowing there's a consequence for every action you make, and you accept those consequences. You get what I'm saying? So, like he said, you got like people who are role models or father figures. You know, they have like good values, and you know, somebody like for me is, for example, like when I was a kid, I looked up to my uncle. He paid his bill. He's a provider, a leader. He made sure everything was, you know, cool, straight, fine. Everything under the household was good, fixed. He did everything himself. But he also knew when to ask for help. He didn't let pride get in the way of, you know, like solving like the most simplest things. He out, you know what I'm saying? Can't do nothing. He gonna ask for help. If he down bad, he gonna ask for help. But if you know he can work his butt off to go get something, he gonna go get it himself. So like he's like I say, responsible, a leader, provider. Make sure just everything in the household is done. You feel me? And just like help his kids grow up. So that's my viewpoint of it.
Okay. Do y'all feel like y'all fit the definition of being a man in y'all's life?
I say I fit the description of a young. Now, I say somewhat I do. I'll be honest, because right now in my life, like from like this little standpoint, the actions I'm now taking like accountability of actions that I've made in my past that have consequences now. So like, for example, like I just got a new job. My last job wasn't like, you know, taking care of everything I need to take care of. So I said, you know, it's time to leave it, go something else. And it may be, you know, it made the man more like labor out of me, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know my home is taken care of. I got clothes on my back, you know, food in the fridge, you feel me? So, and then I can take care of like other stuff like school. And, you know, it's like, it promotes me to do better. It'll help me get to where I want to be. So it's like, you got to like make a sacrifice. So in the future, when you got to make a sacrifice for your family, you will make it knowing that you know, you may not get something in return, or they will return the same energy for you. If that makes sense. So I say somewhere like I feel like I'm on my way to being the man I'm supposed to be, or that I want to be. But it just takes goals right now. I really just want to be a good role model for my community, to be honest.
Anybody
That's
else?
it. I'm like, y'all go ahead. I'm done.
I didn't want to cut you off now.
No, you straight. I'm done.
For me personally, it's weird to say like, yeah, I'm a man, but it just sounds weird to me in my head. Gotta let other people just say, yeah, he's a man, leave him alone. But I guess the turning point was understanding I was a man was like when my mom was like, so how do you feel about this? What do you mean? Feel about what? So, you know, house mortgage and, you know, everything else we got to come with, financials, you know, wills and everything and that sort. And then we start breaking out business, and it's like, oh, you really respect my opinion on this. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's the weird moment when you start realizing like, oh, I'm in a different tier list now. When your voice raises up a little different and everybody's like, oh, I gotta shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to say like you big dog on campus, but they know like this is a personal matter. As a man, you kind of have to carry yourself in that demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
And when your parents recognize it after they've raised you from A to C, things got to change and they got to respect you as such. Even when it's like, I don't like what you're saying or doing, but they have to respect you as the man or whatever they kind of viewing you as, like, okay, you're not a child, you know. And that's so for me personally, it's like, yeah, I just don't know how to explain how that feels on the outside, because now I've been in this role for maybe a little bit more than 5. Because me and my mom, it's just me and her a lot of times. I got my siblings, but I think sometimes me and her have a different bond because I've been with her now in her late 60s, or well, her early 40s to her late 60s. So I'm getting her end years where I'm just like, oh, let's talk about this. And I'm the baby of the 3, so they're hating their kids and stuff, but I'm always like, you good, Mom? What's going on? And they always like, well, we got to handle ourselves. And I'm like, all right, I'll put whatever I want to do on the side. We'll take care of you. I'll hustle. I'll take an L here and there, but I'll make sure I'll grind myself out to get to where it needs to be done so you good. So, and that's been kind of a struggle. If you know, as a man, you want to make sure I got money and take care of all this stuff, but you can't do 2 things at once. And some people get lucky and get that out, but I didn't get that. So I've been busting tail, working 4 jobs. Everybody knows that I work 20.
Right.
So personally for me, I guess I don't even know how to explain that. I really don't. That's an annoying one to figure out.
So I agree with what everybody is saying. I feel like to take the role of a man, you have to have a certain amount of like maturity, because you're going to be facing a lot of problems throughout your life, and it depends on how you attack those problems, whether you going to stand up and be a man about it and get through it, find a solution, or you going to break down and be curled up and just try to run away from your problems. That's how I feel. And it's like, if you handling your business, like y'all was saying, like paying y'all bills and staying on top of like y'all job and everything like that, that's what I feel like being a man is, because at the end of the day, us men have to take care of y'all business. And if y'all ask me, I think all of y'all are men. You feel me? Garen, you just graduated, you feel me? And you working, like you said, Sean, you taking care of your business with your job. You just said that you got a new job and all that stuff, you feel me? And Martinez, you feel me? You obviously, you feel me, you in the military, so we already signed our life away. So like we have to step up to the plate no matter what, honestly. So it's like I feel like everybody has already like took that step to be in the man role, because we have all been or are like being in that mindset right now to be like, okay, this is how my life is gonna go. This is where I want my life to be, and we getting at it, honestly.
All right, here's a question, y'all. What do you think would remove your man card? Like, you a man, you done responsibilities A, B, and C, but what is immediate revoked, done? You gotta work your way back up to like, okay, redemption.
In my opinion, so any type of like violence towards women, you feel me, like just unnecessary, you feel me, if that makes sense. Because we're supposed to protect our women, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no reason. I'm not gonna say it ain't any reason, because in today's world everything's crazy. Everything goes side down. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. But if you got like say we married and stuff, like, you got your wives and whatever, and like, somebody, you putting your hands on your wife, that's automatic, like, hey, nah, I don't respect you as a man.
Yeah.
Like, if you verbally abusing or, in any type of verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, you know what I'm saying, physical abuse, I don't respect you as a man at all. If you down bad, like, I understand, if you can't swallow your pride, you feel me?
Mhm.
After a certain amount of like time or whatever, you're gonna start losing my respect. It's like, I feel like you could come back from like, from being prideful, but putting your hands on a woman just don't.
They don't ever add up for nobody on that one.
Yeah, you can't come back from that, bro. Like,
hold up. So my input on that, you feel me, is like, how do you lose your man card? It's like, yeah, that's definitely a big thing right there. And it also comes to like, I mean, none of us, you feel me, have kids, but if you are taking that role as a father, you feel me, and you abandon your kids, I feel like that's a big thing, because that's one, you're not taking care of your responsibility. You feel me? And all of us said, like, you feel me, like taking responsibility for your own actions. You laid up in bed, made them kids, and you abandoning them for the mom to raise them themselves. You feel me? I feel like that's not being a man at all. You're not handling your business. So that's my input on it.
Oh, see, Ernesto, Austin, you got something to say?
Oh, I mean, what was the question again? The definition on what it would mean to lose your man card?
Yeah.
I guess that my answer was going to be similar to what May said, except on a grander basis. Not only abandoning your values, but betraying those that are close to you, friends, family, I think all inclusive. Mm-hmm. Especially in times of need or like flipping on them like that, you kind of just set yourself back to like, not only do now those same people resent you, but how can you look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, like I'm actually not only an actual man, but almost nearly like lesser of a person on a basic scale to just sit there and abandon those that are close to you. I think that would be like the greatest thing to make you lose your man card.
Oh, so, all right. Here's a question, because going back to you, Dion, because you said something that was crazy in my brain. I don't know why it clicked. But so, if they are not your kids, yeah, and you adopt those kids, are you losing your man card when you separate and you don't take care of them kids anymore?
That's a good question.
That's nuts, ain't it? When you think about it, I have raised kids for what, 8, maybe? You could be talking maybe 8 years.
This is my thing on it, you feel me? I feel like it is a no and a maybe. I'm not gonna say yes. I'm gonna say it's a no and a maybe. I'm gonna say no because at the end of the day, if you and your significant other don't work out, those are not your kids at the end of the day. You're just taking that role as a father figure to those kids. Maybe it's because you're taking a father figure role to those kids, so those kids are looking up at you. So when they see that father figure, vanishing out of nowhere, then it's like, what do they do now?
All right. So, okay.
But they would have already saw that beforehand. If you're stepping in as a stepfather and then you disappear, they already know that the one father figure disappeared. At that point, what's another one?
But at the end of the day, what if they're too young to even know that?
Then you still make an impact on kids though, especially when they're young.
Yeah. I guess how much time you spend with them.
Say like years. So like say like to the point where, let's say for instance, an infant, you feel me? You step in that stepdad role while the kid is an infant, and then boom, they're like 7, 8 years old, and the relationship ends, and then like they pretty much know you all their life at that point.
I still think that's like really too young to kind of grasp, like, to know somebody, like anybody. And as a father figure, you're like, especially when they were like 15, 16, they're like, I kind of remember him, but not really. I don't even remember what the hell I did at 8 years old.
True.
Now, if they were like 12 or 13, at that point, you can actually establish one of those situations where you're like, hey, I'm not talking to your mom anymore. We didn't work out. But although I'm not going to be around, if you ever need anything, you can always let me know.
Yeah.
But you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to take care of these kids. Like, nah, bro, like, it's not your kid. But at the same time, if you care enough, you can just let them know, like, I'm not going to be around, but I'm always there for you, kind of deal.
Yeah. So I guess the more important thing is not the intro. Well, the important is always the introduction. If you are going to be meeting the kids, right?
Yeah,
those aren't your kids. You can't be like this. Hey, I'm pops now. That ain't ever gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See, and like back on what Martinez was saying. So like, say you do, be like, hey, if you need me, I got you. But what if the mom doesn't want you talking to her kids though? Like crossing boundaries and stuff like that.
And so you do about it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
can't do anything.
I'm a fight. Like, all right, damn, okay, fine. But hey, right.
And honestly, that's you having a conversation with another adult. But like, if you don't feel that way, I don't need to be in a part of a toxic relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because that causes more conflict between the kids, the parent. It becomes a whirlwind of just dysfunctionality, and those kids don't deserve that.
Yeah,
you can like the kids. You could have had a good bond with them, but you got to exit stage right.
Right.
True. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and
that's like a real tough situation for real, because you can have a big impact on these kids' lives for real, and then
that traumatic event rolls right back because now they just feel like I'm gonna be part of another dysfunctional family, and maybe I get this one father figure, but you gonna run them off, and then it's just this unhealthy balance. So
and that won't be on the man.
Exactly.
Although some you that's into that role as a father at a young age, they kind of see that as like a contract. Like, nah, bro, you put yourself in them shoes. It's time to finish that job out.
Yeah.
But some people see it that way.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not fair considering I wasn't there at the beginning. I decided to take this, this responsibility on, but I did that as a contractual to you who I got to know. And of course I understood the kids came along with it. Now, depending on how you exit, that's when things get extra. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No matter, you can't take the mom out of like the kids' lives in some form of fashion. You can't direct them in that way. As long as you give respect where respect is due, and not even where respect is due, just give respect, period. That is someone's mother, and they don't need to be seen anything ugly. Even if their parents are showing you something that's not even called for, you got to be man enough to say, all right, I taught you like this. Because the kids are going to understand it instantly. They're going to be like this. Oh, no, you were wrong for that, mom, or pops, whatever that is. And they're going to be like, I don't need that in my life. And they're going to figure it out and go forward with that. They're going to hit some bumps, of course, in the road. But, I mean, we all got it because we got some traumatic experience. Jesus, why is that word so hard lately this month? I've been
whatever in your coat, it got you.
Oh no, I have been bugging out on that word for like 2 months, and it's been bothering me. I've been saying turmeric, and I was like, traumatic. How did I say turmeric?
I'm weird.
But so, I was weird.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the stepdads.
True.
Shout out. Okay, Dion. I forgot you like to play stepdad. I forgot about that.
Oh man, but I got a question. So this goes to all the what's the word? I can't think of the word. You know how people always be like, black people love watermelon. What's the word? It's not statistic. It's
Systemic racism.
Stereotype.
Systemic racism. Is that what you're talking about?
Stereotype.
Stereotype.
Ah.
Like, way up hard.
Martinez went deep in the dictionary.
Hey, look, that nigga was going like this.
Is that what he's talking about? Because you said something about black people. I'm like, all right, that's what he's got to be talking about.
Oh, wait, what's the word again?
That's racist.
Stereotype.
Stereotype. Okay, so what do y'all think? Do y'all think it's a stereotype when, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, that's a real man because he outside cutting grass. Oh, that's a real man because he outside doing car work. Oh, that's a real man because he taking out the trash.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. But I mean, can you blame folks for feeling that way? Like, if I was born in the 90s, you saw Pops cutting the grass at like 6 in the morning before it got real hot.
Yeah.
Showered the water before time. They filled your mom's tank up. They said, I'm gonna eat first because he worked all day. He went to 3 different jobs and he wasn't working and didn't get a paycheck.
Yeah.
And then came home, not saying the mother didn't do the exact same thing because they took care of you, went back, but he was doing all this extra on the side that we never like got preview to. Like, I didn't understand how some, like my uncle, he cut the grass for the entire complex. The entire complex. At the same time, was working on everybody's cars from the entire city. And then raised 2 kids. And then raised a daughter shortly after that. And his wife would go off and go to work at the grocery store. And he was a retired vet. So it was like, you doing all this. And you're about 70. You're almost 20 years older than your wife. And you think a woman's gonna think that's not a man? Like, you are tired. And you're like, I'll just give me some lemonade. I'll be good. And goes home and goes to sleep. Don't ask for nothing in the world. He's like, I'm gonna go grill afterwards. For the entire block and buy the liquor and the fireworks for the entire neighborhood. I can't blame anybody for thinking that. There's no way I could. Like,
Martinez.
I was smoking for that. So
Martinez, what you was gonna say?
I said what I was gonna say. I think that boils down to what society's standpoint on what a man has been. And point has been stuck like this for I don't know how long. The fact basic principles, no emotions. You got to show minimum emotions. You can't cry. You can't seem weak. Weaknesses, you like caring too much, saying too much. Silent killer type of deal where you work all day, all night, you provide the money, you go to sleep, you repeat. These are very like basic standards that I feel like has been really detrimental to how young kids growing up today need to be. Where how am I supposed to grow up in this world when I feel like I need to kind of tunnel myself into this one description of what a man is? Why can't a man be a variety of descriptions within myself? Because if I feel like I need to be this one person, and if everybody else feels that way, then at what point are we going to feel like we need to change that? And some may argue, well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. But I think if you actually look at the way men are in society and the way we are sometimes demonized by our actions, or just because somebody disagrees with, like, no, you're A, B, and C. It's like, bro, I'm just trying to grow up. I'm literally just trying to make it in this world without being or feeling like I'm being viewed or judged by just what I'm doing. I recognize that there is levels of change within myself, and everybody feels that way. But if you can't give me room to grow into what a man is and forget about all the BS from, I don't know, the 50s up until this point of old school way of thinking and doing, I think we'll be able to actually get to a point where like you are your man because of what you do, not by what I do. Right? That's how.
I got a question for Sean because I ain't heard from him in a minute.
Oh, I gotta clap it up. I like that.
I'm weak. Yeah, that was dope. But I got a question for Sean. How do you feel, or what is your input? Because all of us on social media, and you feel me, we see it every day, and we hear it all the time. How do you feel, or what is your input?
I hate it.
What is your input on a female telling men how to be a man and what they should do to be a man, and men should be like this? What is your input?
Not the eye rub.
What is your input?
This is what I want. This is what I want. I want everybody to shut the hell up. That's what I want. Like for real, like, all right. I was raised in a single parent home. My mom raised me. You feel me? And my mom would literally say this: a woman can't raise a man like to be a man. So this is what she did to fix their problem. She said, if you don't spend time with your uncle, your granddad, we're gonna put you somewhere where, you know, men will show you how to be a young man and eventually grow into the man you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. We finna teach you responsibility, how to be safe, how to provide, how to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? And if I get on social media, you know, like I said, it's a different world. We're in a different time, but it all goes back to a man supposed to be the provider, a man supposed to do this and that, a man supposed to build a house with a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, that's cool. But, you know, if you start to criticize like a woman, like, all right, you supposed to, if I'm doing all this, I'm making all the money, I'm the provider of the house. Well, you got to be a traditional woman. You stay home with the kids. Mm-hmm. That's your job. You keep the house clean. You cook. Do A, B, and C. You know, it's like, depending on how your relationship with your spouse is, you know, y'all handle that. Mm-hmm. But it's not like you can have it one way. You can't have your cake and eat it too, bro. You can't live like that. Mm-hmm. But like, everybody gonna speak their opinion on what a man supposed to do. Just like some men will speak on how women supposed to be. You feel me? I just want everybody to shut up because it's annoying. Because I'm not gonna let somebody from Twitter tell me what I'm supposed to do as a man. You don't know my life. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know A, B, and C about me. You don't know shit about me. Mm-hmm. So why would you tell me what I got to do to be a man? Right. Are you doing what you got to do to be a woman? Are you doing what you got to do to be a man? Are you taking responsibility for some shit you did, you know, like the other day? You feel me? Did you swallow your pride and tell a whole girl that you don't want to be in a relationship no more? Like, come on. You feel me? It is like, I don't even care for social media. I don't even pay attention to social media to tell, you know, men how to be men. You know what I'm saying? I just be like, you know, I'm gonna go off my, you know, my point of view. I'm gonna respect women, you know, do what I gotta do. I'm gonna try to be a leader. I'm gonna try to be a provider and take care of the household. I'm gonna do my best at what I can. But like I said, everybody's relationship is different. Mm-hmm. You know, you may not have a traditional woman. You might have a woman who make more money than you. You say, oh, y'all both work. You get what I'm saying? So it's a teamwork kind of thing. It just depends on how y'all lives. But social media, because this got everybody brain up on how everything works.
For real though, because it's like, there's so many double standards in this world, dude. Like, for instance, like, I like how you just said the money situation, right? So yeah. I'm pretty sure all of us have seen this post. You feel me? You got a man working at McDonald's and you got a woman working at McDonald's. They look at that woman like, oh, look at her, you feel me? She's strong, getting her money. And you look at that man like, oh, he a bum. Like, bro, what is the difference? You feel me? Y'all both are working to provide for y'all life. You feel me?
And see, and that's why I just be like, what the social media got to say? Because it's always gonna be a double standard. Either way, for each sex, it's always gonna be a double standard. It is what it is. But that's why I hate taking like social media opinions on certain, like some, it'll be cool, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like men versus women, you know, that should be negative as, and I don't with that. I like, you know, uplifting people, you know, give positive feedback and some criticism, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, bro. Y'all need to let this go. Either way it go, they provide for themselves. They provide for their family. They trying their best. It is what it is.
Okay. So Kid's question. This is for everybody, of course. What is one take on social media that is always said but triggers you? That you're not a man of A, B, and C. Like, what is that one take that they hit you with?
Let me go first. Let me go first.
Gotta go.
You're not a man if you don't share your emotions with your woman. Now, why I say this, let me finish. Now, I have a girlfriend, been together for about 9 months. I would share, you know, she hold it down for me. I share my emotions with her. You feel me? I'm vulnerable to her. Mm-hmm. But if you just some like girl that I'm just talking to, I'm not gonna break down for you. Because, you know, what if we don't work out or we get into it? Now you throwing shit in my face.
So I'm kind of glad we got on this, right? Because this is something that I always kind of like, you know, had a problem with. Because it's like all of us have said, Martinez has said, you feel me? We grow up to not cry, not show emotion, you feel me? And this and all that stuff, right? So it's like in a relationship, like Sean said, you're supposed to be vulnerable and they want you to be emotional and stuff like that, right? Some of us as men, especially like in single mom households, you feel me? We're brought up to be the man of the house. So we experience stuff at a young age. So we have to get in that mindset of like, we got to be hard. We got to be the backbone of this house. We got to be, you feel me? Like there for our mom type stuff. So it's like, we're not that in tune with our emotional side as a female, but yet we get bashed for it. But at the same time, it's just like, they always, and this is why I hate social media too, is because, you know, sometimes you'll see some people be like, oh, we got to uplift our men. You know, they go through so much. This is this. And then 2 days later, you posting, oh, man ain't shit. You feel me? They ain't nothing but dogs. And, you know, they ain't nothing but, it's like, bro, like, what do you want from us? I feel like women, I honestly feel like women ask too much from men. They don't understand our upbringing, and they just have their whole mindset on how things should work. And if it doesn't go that way, then you're not the man that you're supposed to be. You're not a man. You're not this, you're not that. That's how I feel about that.
See, but at that point, that's why you got to take social media away. I'm not like, every woman not like that. You feel me? Mm-hmm. We know that. We really like real life know that. But social media is not real, bro. It's like people gonna say what the fuck they say, but it's like a dumb intake on it. Like, you know, and people, you know, people got their own opinions and they got the right to change their minds. But everybody, like a lot of people on the internet is like hypocrites. Yeah, support, you know, our men, our black men, you know, they're going through it. And then, somebody do post the next day, you know, oh man, they, excuse me, I pay no attention to it. It is what it is, because I don't know those people, you know what I'm saying? So it don't affect me. I don't give a shit about what they got to say. But it is what it is. Because I know, you know, at the end of the day, I still got the women that's in my life. I have my mom, my grandma, you know, they gonna tell me it's okay to be vulnerable to someone like you close with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a female best friend, y'all been friends for like ever. And she was like, you know, she know you. She was like, what's wrong? You think I'm finna just hold this shit? I'm gonna be like, nah, this is what I'm going through. Mm-hmm. Just like I tell y'all straight up, if I'm going through some shit, I'll be like, hey, well, this is what I'm going through today. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I won't do is I won't be on the internet talking about, hey, I feel like this today. Well, you should have did this today because you a man. I'm not doing that.
So is it fair to
Martinez, what you was gonna say, Martinez?
I think as much as I would agree with you that
Uh-oh.
social media is a problem,
Yeah.
there's just nothing you can do about it. So
Facts.
because it's gonna stay, the one thing that we can do is focus on ourselves. So the whole like women against men type of deal on social media, all it does is just poison the minds of the people that are actually living around you or yourself, or just the people that you're sharing your own life experience with, right? So if you and the people around you, more specifically the women that you're speaking to, cannot fall into this typical BS that is on social media and actually learn to just work with each other and learn, then social media is not an issue. Sure, it has all of it, and you can ignore that, which is probably the best thing that you can do for yourself. And especially like, I'm not gonna talk to a woman that is going to downplay me. Those are the women that I avoid. The women that I do want to be around are the women that bring me up, just as I would do with anybody else. I'm not going to hang around nobody that brings me down. So I pick and choose the women that I choose as friends, as confidants, as romantic interests, all of the expectation that, hey, I don't disrespect you, you don't disrespect me, and we can actually make something work out of this.
So with that being said, so let me ask this then. Next question would be, everybody has Twitter, correct?
Of course. That's how I make money.
Not me.
Okay, then you're doing right. You're doing right. So I guess that would be a different conversation then entirely. Because everybody knows Twitter sets up an algorithm to show you certain things based off of what you like, what you view, who you're friends with. So how do you, and I should have just simply say defend yourself against that. But how do you change the perspective of the women that feel that way? Simply not just simply by you doing your job as a man to be like, hey, this is where I'm at. You keep it 100% G with them.
How do you, wait, real quick, what basis are you defending yourself on? Social media or in person?
No, just in general speaking, because you have to remember now, if this is a narrative, but this is not a small narrative at this point. And okay. I understand who we are talking to. We talk to who we need to talk to. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm talking to the old girl here that's like, Jesus, old girl here, and that's a little disrespectful when I'm thinking about it when I'm hearing it. But lady over here that has now just said, well, I have ran to like 7 individuals that has treated me like A, B, and C. I'm not trying to put that on you, and I'm going in whatever they're doing for the due diligence to get past that trauma. How do you change that narrative? How do you help women around you that are literally like, our job, of course, is to protect and provide. Protecting means you're going to have to inform as you're going through this process. And change those narratives too. And that's a tough thing as us going around be like this, oh, hey, but I just went through a really bad breakup, A, B, and C. And he has done me dirty.
So with those, all those issues you just brought up, typically that all kind of results into like insecurities, right? Distrustworthiness between that woman and another man. And I've always kind of like strongly, firmly believed that not only as people to people, but as a man to a woman, it's really not my job to fix you. It's not. Because if I have to bust my ass to show you everything that is different that you've experienced, going through all the hardships, let me see your phone, yada, yada. And then just to find out at the end of the day that it wouldn't work, or if it possibly couldn't work, I feel like all my energy was wasted. So what I typically like to do or prefer is that you can have issues because 2 people are gonna butt heads at some point. You can change, right? Work on it. But I would more so prefer that woman is kind of just settled in with herself. Now, if you want to go and fix that, if that's somebody like, no, I see this person or this woman as a person that deserves my energy, then by all means. But I know you said around you, but just on a side note, you can't change nothing on social media. You're never going to change people's opinion. But in person,
Right.
I think you can. It just takes energy. It takes a lot of time and energy.
Right. But that's why I said in due diligence wise, if they're doing the due diligence, and our job is to literally protect and provide. You're going to have a little sister who's going to run some bumps in the roads. And you are that shining example, but how do you direct? Because again, we're running into this thing of generational thing. We have generations of women that have been abused, been punched, verbally assaulted. You got a list of things that we perpetually have done, and we have said nothing back. And of course, there's a good percentage that are good, but the bad ones are bad. The same way we look at certain other aspects was like this. There's some good, like, for example, and I hate to use this example, there's good cops. But when those bad ones, there's a lot of bad ones out there that are jacking it up for everybody else. So what would be the answer to change that? And that's not just simply insecurity. If you got 100+ years of like mental trauma, how do we change that narrative for us?
I feel like to answer that question, all you can do is pretty much show that you're one of the good ones. I mean, that's really all you can do, because at the end of the day, like those bad ones, you feel me? Like, yeah, like you said, it's a lot of bad ones out here, but that just depends on how you were brought up. So therefore, the change wouldn't happen with us. The change will have to happen in the future, because it's already too late for us, because we're at the age where if you're going to be good, you're going to be good. If you're going to be bad, you're going to be bad. So we have to look at the next generation, you feel me, to tell them to treat, others the way that you want to be treated. Therefore, in the future, you feel me, I mean, other people will see that as good men out here as in future men, because we see there's a lot of dudes out here that's doing dirty dog, you feel me, girls over, all that. So it's like, you can't really do that. And obviously girls go for that because dudes like that hike their head up. You feel me? So I feel like at that point, you can only do what you can to show that you're one of the good ones. It's really nothing that you can do at that point.
I'll say it like this. Yeah, you can prove that you're one of the good ones. Sometimes at the end of the day, that don't always work. But like from my point of view, I agree with you on this. You got to help the next generation do better than you did, or better than your generation. You taking one step up. So, for example, I'm part of 1-on-1 Elite Man. We had a mentorship program like a year before COVID started, and we was helping the young men who were freshmen and whatnot, come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna put y'all out there. We gonna help y'all, understand your classes, how this go. Oh, you want to go out? You can go here and be safe, and how to dress. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of places or a lot of people, or I guess organizations, not only in Troy, but like around the world or across the United States, they teach men, kids, like little boys, how to, dress, how to be a gentleman, respect, women, respect their elders. That's what you got to do with it. Mm-hmm. You get them while they're young, teach them while they're young. Right. You be like, hey, look, you don't put your hands on a woman. But if you defend yourself, life-threatening type stuff, it's different. It's a different situation. But besides that, don't put your hand on a woman. Don't hurt her. You know what I'm saying? You love her. You treat her with care, because you might be with that person in the future. Not even as like a relationship, just as like friends. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you like, all right, I want to treat my friend with respect. I'm gonna treat my niggas with respect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna treat my girl best friend with respect. I'm gonna treat her like I treat y'all. At the end of the day.
I don't think you want to do that. That sounds weirdly bad.
Not you know what I mean.
Right. So
You can't say that.
so we only got 5 minutes left, so we're gonna have to start wrapping it up.
Oh. Oh.
We only got 5 minutes left before it ends.
I blame Dion for everything. Men really ain't.
Golly. Just
Bitch, gonna be.
I'm weak. I feel like this was a good episode. You feel me? I feel like it can definitely be like a part 2 to this because there's so many like different like outlooks and aspects, and I definitely want to do what is it. I'm gonna get some females on here, and I want to be not for what does it mean to be a man. We can't do that, but I want to see what does it mean to be a woman. You feel me? And hear females and what they think about how people look at them about being a woman and stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure that's tough. Y'all get out now. Because you literally had, like, they ain't had more than 50. Well, it's only been about 100 years. It's only for women. So, like, you got to really think about, like, maybe just simply 100 years ago. That's 2 generations, like 2 grandmothers back.
Yeah.
You went from being married at 13 to 16 because you first bled. Now you're a woman, having kids, and then you started creating the internet, NASA, and now you can be independent woman running multiple businesses after you just said you weren't allowed to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your head spin is ridiculous.
I know who I'm finna invite to it though.
And that's why I was like, that's a hard one itself. Where it was for the man, it's like we just like trying to get used to this switch. At the same token, it's like I want you to do this, but I don't want to do none of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it almost feels like everybody's just confused on like, what do we all do?
All right.
How many minutes we got?
We got 3.
All right, look, I'm gonna wrap this up.
Your shirt's ugly.
You.
Hey, self-love, man. Self-love. It's okay.
Hey.
Yeah. Self-love. Shut up.
Wrap it up, bro.
All right, look, I appreciate our guest today. You know, go ahead and give it a round of applause. I'm gonna start with Martinez. Hey, bro, go ahead and say your IG real quick.
Oh, so it's gonna be kind of complicated. It's gonna be Gallo Malvado. So GALLO_MALVADO. That's it.
Oh, you about it. Golly.
Okay, we gonna get Dion to edit that in there.
Yeah, please.
Right. Go ahead and shout out your IG. Yeah, shout out your IG.
92 Fit Kent. Hi.
And we're gonna leave our IGs down here. I'm sorry, Dion, we ain't got a lot of time, but we thank y'all for showing up. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the post notifications, and we'll catch y'all later. Hey, y'all put your hand over the camera.
Hold on. Oh, you know what to do, Martinez?
Yeah.
All right. Count it off.
1, 2, 3.
Go.